Hey there, this is Natalie, and happy Halloween if you're watching this when it was first uploaded. This is a bit of a strange video. I'm just doing for a bit of a laugh as a celebration of the fact I've just made it to 1,000 subscribers. So I thought I'd give something back to you guys in the form of a video about oppai. Now, it's no secret that Tappei has made a list available of which characters from ReZero have the biggest and smallest oppai. And this is something that a couple of other ReZero YouTubers have already covered. I know Jakes123 covered it, and then Father Bubbas covered it. But neither of them have the same expert knowledge of oppai that I do, because unlike me, they do not have oppai of their own. Even Tappei Sensei himself, who created these beautiful women, does not have the same knowledge of oppai as your friend Natalie here. So I'm going to take you through Tappei's list of the oppai rankings of his characters, but I'm also going to be weighing in a few times where I think maybe Tappei is actually wrong. Yes, I know they're his characters and it's his canon and he created it, but I feel like even in his imagination, maybe these girls wanted to keep some things a secret and didn't tell him. But, you know, another woman, we can always tell. So this is going to be the real ReZero oppai ranking list, including which of these characters are most likely getting a bit of help from their wardrobes. Please like and subscribe if you want more quality content like this, or, you know, proper ReZero content with analysis and web novel chapter readings and all of that proper stuff. So we begin by looking at the character that's at the bottom of the list in Tappei's idea of which characters are the most well endowed when it comes to the chest. And it's not really a surprise that bottom of the list is Felix. Felix dresses like an adorable cat girl because, as part of his devotion to Crusch, he agreed to be responsible for Crusch's feminine side, and probably because he finds it really funny to make people like Subaru feel uncomfortable. But being a man, his chest would resemble two aspirins on an ironing board, so he can't even compete with the literal children that are next in the list. Naturally, the next smallest characters are all female, but they are prepubescent girls, so it's probably not really worth discussing the order that they come in, given that other than Beatrice and Typhon, they're all gonna grow up, and it's just plain weird to compare them anyway. But I do think it's briefly worth taking a look at Petra. Petra is bottom of the list, just before Felix, after even characters like Beatrice, Typhon and Felt, but we can definitely notice that in her maid uniform in season 2, she looks a little bit bigger than she did when she was just playing in the village in season 1. This, I believe, is our first case of one of these characters stuffing their clothes. Why? Because Petra is a young girl who's now working in the mansion where her crush Subaru is going to be all the time, and she wants to look a little bit more mature. As Petra gets older throughout the story, we'll just have to see how she develops, but it's probably important for her to remember that boobs do not replace personality. And so if she wants to be able to compete with the likes of Emilia and Rem, she's going to need to work on not being the most boring character in the cast first. After Petra, Typhon, Beatrice, Mimi, Felt and Daphne, who are all underdeveloped due to their age, we get on to the adults. And the lowest one of those, surprisingly, is Ram. It is something I mentioned in my video about Rem and Ram, that canonically, even though they're twins, Rem does actually have a larger set of oppai. And she secretly makes adjustments to their maids' uniforms so that Ram doesn't notice this too much. Ram's still cuter though, because she has pink hair. Next up we have Anastasia, and with her cute petite design, I think it's kind of unlikely that she'd even want to appear bigger. It's still kind of surprising that she Ranks higher than Ram though, making me feel a bit bad for Ram here. Now next we have Echidna. And as other people who've discussed this ranking list have pointed out, Echidna's design was slightly changed in the anime in this and only this respect. Well, I mean, they changed the colour of her hair ornament as well, but nobody cares about that. So, Echidna padding her bra for her TV appearances is confirmed. Next up we have Rem and then Emilia. I think it's definitely all natural with these two sweet girls, especially Emilia, considering her clothes were probably chosen for her by Puck. And she doesn't really know what to do with male attention when she gets it anyway. Unlike the next person on our list, Carmilla, the Witch of Lust. Now, this does seem kind of unlikely, where we've seen Carmilla in the anime and also even in illustrations in the light novels. She's kind of shown to be a small, cute, almost kind of plainly designed girl. From her backstory, we do know that she's an adult, so whether her character design was changed later in the process after Tappei had already come up with this list, which is actually extremely old, it's from 2013, it's hard to say. Or maybe it's just a hint that because Carmilla can change her appearance into other people's using her faceless bride, maybe Carmilla's size is just whatever you prefer. But now we're getting on to the bigger hitters, with next up Frederica, followed by Crusch. I am quite surprised that Frederica is listed as smaller than Crusch, but I think this may be down to the fact that Crusch, trying to adopt a more masculine appearance for her role within the Karsten family, as we've already said, passing off her more feminine, cutesy side to Felix, at least until she lost her memory. Crusch was potentially dressing in a way that minimised the appearance of her oppai. Then next up we have Sekhmet. And we know she's not faking anything since she can't really be bothered to brush her hair, let alone dress up in uncomfortable, cleavage-enhancing clothing. Followed by Elsa, who also definitely isn't padding her clothes because, well, where would you put the padding? Elsa is not only definitely a natural case, she's also a master of the oppai, given the athletic things that she manages to do without them getting in the way. Now, second from the top, we have Minerva, the Witch of Wrath. Now we know that Minerva is one of the characters with the largest bajingas because, in the web novel at least, it's mentioned every time she's on the page, probably because it's something that draws Subaru's attention whenever he sees her. He is said to find her thick appearance a little bit at odds with her cute, childlike face. Although that description makes her sound a bit like Uzaki-chan. Like Elsa, Minerva has my respect for having the skill to physically fight whilst in possession of large oppai, without needing to strap them down with a seriously robust sports bra. And now we find the number one character from Tappei's 2013 list of ReZero characters, ranked according to the size of their jubblies. And it is none other than actually my best girl, Priscilla. Priscilla's cleavage is deep enough that she can keep her fan inside it that she sometimes uses to clobber people. And while the structure of the red dress that we often see her wearing would allow for a little bit of enhancement, we have canonically seen her naked in the light novels, and Priscilla has nothing to hide. Supposedly the only divine protection Priscilla has is called the divine protection of the sun, but it looks like she was also blessed in 2 other ways. And that is all for this list. Where it's an old list, we're only really seeing the characters up to the end of season 2 appearing here, so Tappei hasn't yet told us where Liliana Masquerade or Shaola would fit. But I hope you've found this informative and educational, and you've enjoyed going through this ranking of anime boobs with me this Halloween. As always, thanks for listening, and I hope to see you again very soon.